Here we go. The all new, the freshest, greenest new podcast ever is the Stoner Circle with Boosway. Um, as I guess I've been starting these recently. Um, I should probably know a thing or two about the people that I'm going to try to interview. And Boo, I gotta say that not much is known about you for me besides that you're an enjoyable gamer, a consistent gamer. Um, and that I'm not. I don't mean any offense when I say this, but I'd call you almost a regular Joe, a working man trying to just live their best life in in whatever situation may have been given to you.
Definitely would agree with the working Joe.
And I
Definitely
don't,
average.
yeah, I don't mean it. I don't mean that terribly, because fucking,
No,
we're all fucking working. I see you as one of my old friends who it's like, yep, this is what I do, and I'm doing that for as long as I fucking can, as long as
yeah,
it's paying my bills.
yeah, I ain't out there trying to be anybody at the moment.
With that said, do you have any passions besides your relationship and video games? That anything you would really enjoy pursuing? Maybe someday opening your own line of work with.
I was like fishing guide and stuff like that. Like doing that every day, going fishing every day and selling that service would be like optimal in my in-game life, if you will.
On a
Just
boat.
outside, dude, out on a boat, on a lake, on a river,
Anything
just
I think if you did multiple aspects of it, that's how you get the most out of it, right?
yeah. I used to do a lot of that stuff, and then I started working a little bit more, and just I found more peace in smoking pot, playing video games at home than going to some of these places. So
That's what a lot of people
I-
don't get when they're like, "Why don't you just do this in real life?" It's like you don't actually understand. Like, I am not in any dangerous situation when I'm sitting here and fishing in this video game right now. I'm not gonna shove a hook through my hand. I'm not gonna step into the fucking creek wrong and slice my leg on maybe some broken glass from some kids who were here a while ago or something. You know what I mean?
someone's diabetic insulin needle that they dropped. Crap.
Get a nice shot of insulin. You'd be surprised, man. I've actually met a lot of hunters that it wasn't diabetes. They had the EpiPens because they were allergic to bees, so they don't
Mm,
go out without those EpiPens. Um, it's fun things thinking of it, but it's obviously a passion and something you, if it was offered to you right now, I'm sure you'd go out and do it,
oh
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like if someone said, "Hey, I got a boat. I want you to work on it. I'm gonna pay you the same wage or better." You bet your sweet ass I'm gone this hour.
Now,
Calling them up.
I actually don't mind. I don't like fishing at all, but I don't mind fishing if I'm going to actually catch it and cook it. Like
Okay.
that's when I think the fishing is coolest. If like let's say you're out camping with like friends or family or something, and you throw out a few lines or you make some traps or something. Because I was actually big into the first iPad I had or whatever, the little ones. My mom
Yeah,
gave it to me because the second generation was coming out. She's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck, have it. So this is like the first touchscreen technology I had, and
right.
the first app I installed, because again, this is also before a time where I don't people rarely had internet on their phones yet or whatever. So
Mm,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
I downloaded the military survival guide and I would practice making different animal traps and shelters and shit like that. And I always had a lot of fun doing that. And that's with saying that you're also I'm assuming you're also a hunter as well.
So, excuse my bong rips,
No, you're
but
fine, please.
the when I was a younger person, I would say below the age of driving, we would run around on railroad tracks hunting rabbits. I ate this, like you said. If you ate it, if you were gonna eat it, then I was fine with killing it. But I never saw the means of like hunting deer or turkey because
It's a
it
lot
wasn't
of
something.
butchering.
Yeah, it's a lot of guts, a lot of feed and everything, and it's like there's a lot of time. And my time at that point in my life, I was completely enthralled and addicted to video games, in my opinion, and like this is a lifelong addiction. I'm pretty sure that has been like rooted in my like everyday life, how I interact with people and stuff like that, and what my decisions to do what I do in my life are involved around this. So I didn't want to get the fuck up early. I was like, I'm not
Who
hungry. The
does?
grocery store's got so many animals in it that are dead and ready to go, and we're out here like, let's go out and gotta be quiet. You can't make too much noise, or they'll fucking hear you. If you fucking breathe, they're gone. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I get the thrill of hunting. I'm not knocking that. It's something that I don't get excited about. I get excited about in video games when we work together for whatever it is. Like if
Yeah.
somebody's like, let's get to the top of this hill, and but we're all doing that
The
together.
communal aspect
It's a
that has
high
an
for
end
me.
goal.
Yeah, that's like for whatever reason, my DNA is like it jiggles whenever it hears this stuff. You know what I mean? It is excited. If they're like sports, I'm like, yeah, nah. But a lot of people
No.
love it. Sports, the hunting, it's great, but not
Well,
me.
I gotta go back to fishing too because I'm going to assume that you don't live too far from me in the wider scheme of the Americas.
Like 15 hours.
15 hours? All right, that is a bit further away because I was gonna say I had thought you lived along the Great Lakes like I do.
I do on the opposite side.
Okay,
of you,
just the
literally
opposite
on
side.
the same line.
So I gotta say, man, this is my own little thing, but I am scared for some reason of like I live right by the Finger Lakes, and even the biggest Finger Lake, like it's not that big, but they're fucking deep, and I just always feel like there's some kind of weird sea monsters in the Finger Lakes. Like I've never had a problem with the ocean, like when I was in Florida for some reason, but in the Finger Lakes, I'm like, or not just the Finger Lakes, but the Greater Lake area, the Greater Lakes themselves, Erie, fucking Seneca, whatever the fuck. I'm always scared when I'm out on them on a boat. I'm like, bro, I don't know what's down there.
Yeah, the fucking Loch Ness of the lakes, the Great Lakes.
I love cryptids, but that's so. So with that, I also will say that for a long time, like especially when I started working my ass off, because I had to survive, coming from a weird family. When I started working my ass off, I was telling myself, I'm addicted to video games. I need to stop playing video games and I have to start working all the time. And I spent, I want to say 5 to 7 years with that mentality of like, all right, I'm just gonna work nonstop, and I cannot stress how bad that is for you. Like, to fetishize work is so terrible, and I'm so glad that I've came back to video games. I love storytelling. I love again, storytelling without a risk, because like you're saying, I would love going into the woods, and I like identifying trees and mushrooms and shit and plants.
Yeah,
That's my kind of fun. And but when I go to do that, I'm so allergic to poison ivy. So
breathe it.
yeah, I don't even have to breathe it. It's just I have to. Someone
Look
could
at
be
it.
next to me and talk about it, and I'll fucking start breaking out.
Your eyes start itching.
Yeah, I hate it because I was always an adventurous kid who lived around woods too. So it was like, honestly, up until I was an adult in the city, I would get poison ivy every fucking year, no matter what.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so I'm really good. I'm really good at not itching.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, I digress. I just I wanted to delve into just a little bit of who you are as a person, Boo, and how you like to enjoy your life. But with that, that's just a little tiny delve, because we're not going to get too personal or whatever. But with that, with this podcast, this new podcast of mine and mine, I have a set amount of questions, and you would guess that they all revolve around smoking weed. I'm not going to try to take up too much of your time.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I gotta go take a castle back.
For real, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, dude. This is that game is never the same. You log off and it's different the next day. So
I've personally been in a weird mood lately. Like, I don't mind Space Station, but I'm in one of my gaming slumps right now where I just would rather come in and do this. I just rather sit in Discord and chill and talk instead of playing something right now, because it's just my own mood right now because I'm an asshole.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Do what you love.
Hey, I'm just trying to go day by day. I'm just hanging out. So we'll start off with one of the first questions, and I might sit here and tell you this is a question or whatever. We'll just try to roll it. Well, I don't know how I do things yet. This is the third
Alright.
time, so hopefully it's the charm or whatever. Um, so we'll start off with the first question. What is your preferred ingestion method of cannabis?
I would have to say a joint is my preferred uh, experience because of well, most of the time it's a social aspect. You sit down next to somebody and you share a joint, you bullshit, talk about something, and enjoy it that way. Sitting outside, taking hits and just shooting the shit usually is what comes with a joint. But sitting at my desk smoking a joint, I realize that most of it ends up in my hair or surrounding me and
Oh
everything like
fuck.
that, which is another experience playing video games because it kind of gives you that like you kind of get intense into them, and then like
Yeah.
your joint is gone, and I'm like. I grab another one and I smoke, and then like I look down and I'm gone through 10 joints in like a fucking night, and I'm like, holy shit, I don't even do that in a week.
Like,
You know
what
what I
the fuck
mean?
is going on? It is enjoyable. That's I gotta say that I didn't personally start joints myself thinking it was gonna be my favorite connoisseuring experience. But like you're saying, as a gamer with joints, there's nothing I would want more than joints while I'm playing a video game. Because I'm just sitting there getting baked and I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not pulling the bong up to my face every two fucking, minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
And
you
but
can use both your hands.
yeah, it's like you're saying, you're sitting there, by the time you know it, you're like, oh shit, my joint's gone. But yeah, we've talked at length about joints and shit. I personally believe a joint is if you're a true cannabis connoisseur. And again, when I say true cannabis connoisseur, that's a subjective thing to say, but I will say I feel a joint is also how you're going to get the best experience of whatever cannabis you're smoking, because you're gonna, with that joint, if you I light it different and shit, but with that ember and stuff, you're gonna taste that flower for what it really is supposed to taste like without the fucking gas of your lighter and shit going through it. Because we could talk about like what's in this lighter. I'm pretty sure lighters are filled with butane, right? And we could talk about
Yeah.
how you run butane hash oil. So if you have a fucking cylinder that's in your mouth and you're just for a few seconds it's not lit and you're blowing butane through it, that can actually change the chemical makeup of your joint. But anyways, I'm not trying to um, get too, we don't have to get into it like this. um, so with your joints or whatever, do you have a favorite variety or flavor? You don't have to know the pot by name, but if you know it by name, I'd love to hear it. If not, just flavors and terp profiles.
So the my buddy had one a long time ago at his house, and then they said it came from Colorado or California, whatever it was. Um, Driven in special, but they when they opened it, and I always come back to this on how pungent the smell of the bud was. Like my buddy's father hit it right on the nail. I'll tell everybody about this. I might have already even told you about this, but it smelled like garbage. It smelled like just straight beautiful, stinky garbage. And I'm not talking about like your rotten, like everything's like together in there, but is not all rotten, but it smells like garbage, and it's
Yeah.
good. It's not that stink smell. It's like a good, really pungent odor. And when you smoked it, it had like the same, like almost cheesy like flavor to it, or whatever you want to call it. So it was like, I don't know, like a skunk's butthole hit my fucking mouth. I don't know. Like it was fucking. It was really pungent, but it wasn't like overbearing or whatever, and like it was good. Like every time you smoked it, like it had, like it left that smell in my mustache, so you would smell it
Yeah,
residually and stuff like
I
that.
love a cannabis that actually like its smell translates to its taste, because like when I sit here and I tell you about like plum wine or something, plum wine smells so berry like, but when you hit it, it just tastes like some regular weed. Like you're just like, oh,
Yeah,
I wish it kind of tastes like the way it smelled. But
exactly. Yeah,
and I think we've also talked about this at length. But when you say it's a cheesy flavor, it makes me think of it as like it sounds like a skunk cheese cross. There's a lot of
I
people out there that don't like that smell, but I gotta say, it's like you're saying, those cheesy, pungent buds are some of the most fuck, I lost the word. Functional weeds. I can smoke the dankest fucking crazy cheese and it'll get me high as fuck. I'll smoke a whole joint of it, but I'm not so high as to where I need to stop functioning, you know? Cuz like
yeah
I've had some shit where it's like, "All right, I need to fucking sit down for a minute." Or it's like, "Well,
yeah. Drink some water. Eat
yeah,
some.
I can't talk to anyone right now. I'm just going to go take a shit."
Chill out. Yeah.
But yeah, with cheeses, man, with those stinky cheeses, I can keep smoking if I wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah, great choice. Honestly, I'm a big fan of cheeses.
Yeah. I don't know what necessarily the name was called. Um, the only one that sticks out is that Gorilla or Gorilla Dream. Like, a Blue Dream and Gorilla
Gorilla glue.
Glue
Yeah,
always, like, yeah, we're like a name, but you know what I mean? Like, it
yeah.
does, like, the names are so, I don't know, like a brand, it's not an informational guide,
It is. It can be, and the weird thing about that is, it's because cannabis is what's called a landrace plant. I've explained all this before, but so it's like an apple. Like, let's say you bit an apple and you're like, wow, I fucking love how this apple tastes. And you take the seeds out of it and then you throw those seeds in the ground. You will not actually, you might get a tree that's really similar to that, but it won't be exactly like that apple you tasted. And it's the same with cannabis. So it's like I feel exactly how you feel, because it's like, man, I love the Blue Dream that I tried, but if I personally popped 10 seeds of Blue Dream, I would have to like smoke through all of them and see which one I liked the most that was closest to the Blue Dream that I like, because all those 10 ladies or men are all going to be
Yeah.
so different. Because, again, when I say it's a landrace plant, it means it takes a mother and a father to reproduce. And when it does that, it's like saying, like, it's like if you have brothers or sisters. Like, yeah, we came from the same parents, but we're obviously extremely
Yeah.
different. And the reason that that's kind of odd to a lot of people in the plant world is because plants are usually exactly the same through lineage, but that's because a lot of plants are self-pollinating, where they will flower and then they just take pollen from the same plants themselves even, and they can reproduce off of that. But anyways, we won't delve into this either. So
You're gonna have to do one of those kind of podcasts, an informational
just an
podcast.
information, just talking about weed. I would rather. So this is like something I'm always looking for, is anyone to ever call me out when I'm saying anything like this. I'll be like, yeah, you're kind of right, but I haven't found that person yet. So if I could do a podcast like that, it'd have to be with someone extremely knowledgeable in a sense, so I could
Yeah, yeah,
kind of
true.
debate about it, you know?
Yeah,
Because I'm just some idiot who's been on the internet forever, trying to chase a passion in an area where there's no fucking education that exists besides people online posting their bullshit. I mean, cannabis, like, I think it was the 50s or the 60s that THC was isolated, but nothing really ever happened from that, and we've only been testing cannabis in like actual I would say like a laboratory setting over the past maybe 10 to 20 years now. But so with that, with this cheesy skunkiness, do you have a favorite set and setting for your consumption? Like, is it just like right now when you're just chilling at your PC, you don't got shit to do anymore, and you're just gonna fucking light up and play some games, or do you like it out in the woods, or
definitely. If it's the another person, it instantaneously wipes out any solo event that I can ever think of. Like, I'm not like a guy that's like, I want to go smoke a joint by waterfall by myself. I'm like, if there ain't no one else there, I don't want to fucking go there.
why even put the fucking effort at this
Oh,
point?
I know a lot of people are a little bit like, they. I like to. Everybody needs to experience this because this is amazing. Like, not just me. This is not me. Is so selfish, But that's not my perspective. But I definitely would enjoy an outdoor joint with someone. Is the like, if you start there and you go up from there, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, there's no. I, if I'm out like moving around in the wilderness though, and there's a potential of like bears and or wilder animals, I don't necessarily tend to get blitzed out of my mind because of reasons. You know what I mean? Like
For some
I want to
reason,
be
I
able to
thought you were gonna
punch.
say you just keep smoking as you go to cover your scent.
No, no, no. It's just like I'm the one that's like, I'll be all right. I'll be like sober. Everybody else can be messed up, but
Yeah, I got you.
I can't trust myself because I know I'm like I would like overreact and like fuck myself up and like be
Right.
the guy going help.
I can't say like because I've lived in the hood for the past fucking 10 years now, and I've been isolated as well. But I don't mean that in any bad way. Like isolation can be awesome in a sense. It doesn't have to just be viewed as a depressive aspect of lives or whatever. Like sometimes some isolation can do you some good, and if you can respect your well, what is it? Your solidarity or your fucking alone time with yourself. If you can tolerate yourself, it's a pretty good step in life. But I have to completely agree that I do enjoy a social activity. I will say though that there's times that when I would go out here when I go out in the woods in New York and shit, I'm not worried about bears or anything actually at all. Honestly, I'm just like, whatever. Like I know,
People.
yeah. Well, I would go out alone a lot, but at the times that I went out alone is because before I was isolated, I always had like a huge family and a relationship, so I was always around people. So I would be like, "Right, I'm just gonna go walk into the woods and meditate and smoke a little bit." But I'm digressing and going off of this bullshit because this isn't about me; it's about Boo.
Oh,
But
it's great. I like it.
good because we're past the first question.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
mix of three different ones. But so yeah. Anyways, with that, do you have a favorite media while you're getting high, like with or without friends? Do you have like a we won't even say favorite like overall, but if you have maybe like a favorite like right now, like do you like to throw on some music or movies if you're with people or
Uh, y- you know, that is kind of like me personally. I'm a different person in the aspect of music or background noise. Like I'm a person that drives in a car with the window down and no radio on. You know what I mean? Like just can sit in complete silence and be blissful. So if there's music on, it's better. But I'm never like a person that would be like, you know what, we should turn some music on, or we should do this, or we should watch this while we're doing. Like, you ever seen the $20 bill? You know, nothing like that.
yeah.
If someone wants to do that, I'm fine. But
Your default is just whatever you're already in. You're not trying to alter it in any way. It's already fine.
so I'm like, if I smoke pot, I'm like right now, I play video games, but I don't go out and like watch TV necessarily. Every once in a while, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna watch something with fiance and enjoy it and stuff. Like, she's out there right now, we're watching Demon Slayer, and I'm like, all right, nah. Taking castles is more interesting, I guess.
Yeah, no, Demon Slayer didn't get me either. Nothing against anybody. I know everyone loves their shit, but
Yeah, but
I
no media that I can think of other than just hanging out.
I can really relate honestly because I do like I will say neutral sound. Like even in the hood we have like a lot of birds and shit out here.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
but mostly I play music just so cuz I live a little differently than a lot of other people, so like I don't like hearing sirens or people screaming outside in the hood, so like I usually will try to it's hard. You've seen this out of me. Is the reason I actually stream and play so much shit all the time is because I'd rather be interacting and playing in some shit, and it's kind of hard for shows to get and keep my attention. Like sometimes they do and they're really good, and I'll talk about it. But like a lot of the time, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd rather, like you're saying, I'm gonna go siege this castle. And
Yeah,
especially like you're saying, when you can do it with friends, that's when it's most
oh
fun.
yeah.
It's like, all right, I have a small community. We're going to do this.
Why is that an addiction though? I have a question for you. Why is that a thrilling addiction for people now more than any
Well,
doing things with other people? Yeah,
it's like
that's
what I
crazy.
said earlier when we go outside and we do shit and then we play it virtually. Like there's no risk when we do it virtually, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like we live in a time that it's convenient. Like we're humans and we're social beings, regardless of how anyone wants to feel about that. When I sit here and I say I've recluded or whatever, I don't go out and do much or whatever anymore. there's still a part of me that loves social aspect. Even right now, when I say I'm just trying to chill and fucking talk and shit, this is a social aspect. But like, you can like when we play fucking, god damn it.
Games.
Why do I have to play this? Yeah, the games in general. But like when we played Vintage Story, is
Yeah.
what I was trying to say. When we did Vintage Story, it's like when we all sit down and play a game like that, even children, like we'll compare it to Minecraft, obviously. But like when you're saying why is that so alluring, it's like I can sit down and instantly have a social and like what I feel like is a meaningful obligation in this game to feel like that I'm what's it called when you give, yeah, you're contributing. And but it's also so fucking convenient because it's like, okay, I'm sitting here, I'm having this experience, but it's like I'm gonna get up right now and walk away from my computer and take a shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's not gonna offend anybody. Or like, let's say like oh, I've muted my mic because my significant other comes in and they're talking to me about whatever. Like it's so rewarding and it's like there's no actual commitment to it at the end of the day. The commitment is what you want to put into it. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, well, this was fun, but now I'm gonna go watch Demon Slayer or whatever. Fuck it. Like you can just do that, you know. And I gotta say that like that's like a lot of people are just drawn to it because of its easiness. And I'm not just this is something because like I'm not trying to take this away from smoking or whatever and making this just about cannabis. But games like Minecraft and what we're talking with this social aspect to it, I kind of think I've given this a lot of thought that video games like Minecraft and these simulators and stuff could possibly be an extremely useful evolutionary step for mankind in the sense of like, imagine if you were trained and paid to use a fucking robot through a computer and you built like space stations or some shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've thought of it.
Yeah. So like I'm not saying that these things couldn't also be automated as well, but like
Right.
I could see a future of people that are literally just controlling automatons and machines and shit or whatever. Like in places we're not supposed to be, deep under the ocean, fucking outer space, fucking by stars and stuff. Because like, what is at the end of the day, in an evolutionary sense, what is safer for us? Well, I mean, no one gives a fuck about evolutionary sense for our leaders because we're all trying to kill ourselves. But in a real way, it's like I would want to send not humans into space, something that doesn't need oxygen and shit like that. And even in a dangerous situation, and I'd rather build a semi-safe situation. Anyways, digressing too much, but but I really feel like video games, regardless of if you want to say, you could say escapism or whatever, but it's the same as any media. And it's like you've said this before, Boo. I remember you saying it was sometimes you would very much rather just build and experience your own story and interact with that story and enjoy it for what it's offering you, opposed to, like you're saying, like I'm gonna just sit down and tolerate this TV show because it's in a popular opinion right now or whatever, and you're just sitting there and all you can do is ingest it, and you're not, there's no way you're interacting with that world besides fighting with people on Reddit or something.
Oh,
Oh,
Reddit.
good
I
old.
never ventured into Reddit,
Oh, really?
so I used it very, very little.
All right. Well, I say, oh, really? Because that's like, I gotta say that Reddit has all the answers you really want. You don't have to use Reddit, but if you ever have a problem and you're like, toilet seat broken on Google, and then you just put Reddit after that shit, you will find your answers in the comment sections.
All right, I'm gonna start using that then because we have a coworker that swears by that.
Yeah, if,
He's like,
yeah.
dude, I spend my entire time on that like a subreddit of the towns and shit like that, talking to all these people.
Yeah, you don't even have to talk to them because that's how I first started Reddit, and it's a lot for video games. You see what I do with video games, Boo. I'm like, I want to
Right.
play this, and I want to put 3,000 mods in it, and then I want to put a multiplayer mod in it with, and me and Itchy will be sitting here trying to like, I've solved so many problems like that by being like, Minecraft feed the beast mod, whatever, and then just at the end Reddit, and then like the actual Reddit post, it'll either be the same question I'm asking, or it'll be someone saying that they fixed it, and then you're like, wait, they didn't fix it, but someone in the comments below that is like, bro, I actually fixed it, and you'll be like, oh, thank God, like, but it's there. Reddit has the answers, is all I'm gonna say, and
Okay.
we'll transition from that to what was your first time smoking, Boo?
Oh, that was a very memorable experience, a very happy experience, and I shared it with at the time two of my better friends, good friends. What I want to say is like, for lack of a better word, they weren't the best judgment people, but you know, they had a hard time growing up and shit like that. So, anyways,
They were the bad kids.
David. Yeah, they were the bad kids. Everyone hated them. No one liked them. No one would be their friends except for the brother. The brother was a little bit more charismatic than the older one, but the older one was angry, very angry, but very sad. And like,
Sometimes
I
that's what the world does to you, man. Like even as a kid,
yeah,
it just makes you mad and sad and angry. Like and it's I'm not gonna say it's justified, but a lot of people don't want to give empathy to that. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
no, exactly that. Excuse me. Had to clear out the phlegm, but yes, I saw the kid in the very like basically from kindergarten through 8th grade and stuff like that. But I experienced a lot of the not anguish, but like I kind of knew what he was going through because my dad wasn't there, and that's what it was. And he was very angry about that, but I wasn't angry because my dad was not there prior to me knowing him well enough, so he knew him very, you know, kind of good, and like it was a happy life, blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
anyways, first time smoking with him was in the basement, chilling out on their couch. They have curtains up for walls. Smells like mildew, dog shit on the floor, bathroom fucking toilets constantly running, you know.
Fucking
There's
A.
fucking toilet paper everywhere, you know. Beautiful. The stepfather's in his locked room with all of his automatic machine guns and fucking 16 PCs hooked up to the fucking black web doing, you know, whatever.
All right.
Walks
Sound
around
crazy.
with a fucking AK on his back. This is
Fucking A.
19 early 2000s, 90 or late 90s or something like that. Like I don't remember exactly when it was, but I couldn't drive and he could because I think he was a year older than me. So I think I was like 14 when I remember this, 15 or something like that. And we were down there, and like I said, dude walking around with the gun and everything. But like the weirdest thing is like whenever you don't fear that kind of stupid shit, and like
You're comfy in that
reality,
setting.
it's you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I'm a friend coming to his house, and he's just like chilling out. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, it's just like I don't know. Like it didn't bother me, but you know, I grew up around guns and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
mom was. Just bless this lady. She fucking dealt with fucking 3 asshole kids. Like, and she left a husband that fucking beat the shit out of her. Like, little 5'2", 100-pound lady with a 6'5", fucking 300-pound guy. Okay, so here we go. Anyways, on the couch and watching fucking Doom of all things,
All
and
right.
they're like, you should smoke this. And I'm like, nah, dude, it ain't for me. It ain't for me. Peer pressure set in, and I finally smoked. Right. I'm sitting there, and all I can feel is my heart beating. And I'm like, dude, my heart's gonna explode, right? And they're like, dude, just chill. Just chill out, dude. Just watch the movie. And I'm like, dude, I'm fucking dying.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah. You know, gave out a few I'm gonna dies, and then they're like, just chill and watch the movie. And I started watching fucking The Rock fucking beat some ass on Doom and shit, because this is that fucking 90s version, whatever that year it came out or whatever. Just chilling out.
The Rock was
And then
just
it
coming
like
out as a star.
yeah, and fucking I don't know if it was called Doom, but I was pretty sure it's called the Doom at that point in time, but it was live action. And the rush or the wave came over top of me from the top of my head all the way down to my toes. And I looked at both of them and I go, "This is amazing." I go, "This is what this feels like." And they're like, and they all started laughing and they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." And I'm like, "What?" It was just like they're like, "Shh," because the mom's upstairs, and they're like, "She doesn't know we smoke and everything." And I'm like,
Yeah, just a
like
bunch
she
of
doesn't.
kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He doesn't know we smoke. Right? Okay. The whole house smells like fucking weed. Fucking watching Doom. They go and he looks at me. He's like, "I'm gonna go get some chips." Brings down chips and fucking soda, and we just, 2 bags
Yeah,
gone. Fucking
about it.
the 3 liter soda, orange soda, the big
The
cap.
big, he says a 3 liter. You got your bunch of kids with a giant thing of soda.
No fucking cups.
Yeah,
Fucking just go at it. And
you would have loved it over here because we have boxes of chips, big boxes of chips.
it was those grocery stores used to have those like absurdly big sized bag chips and
Oh
like
yeah,
sodas and
yeah.
shit. Well, they still do, but you just not as common anymore in my area and stuff. But
For a while,
man,
everything was family size.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you were just people would be just drinking 1 3 liter to themselves and
Dude,
stuff.
yeah, I think about that honestly. Like, I'm surprised I don't have more health problems because, like, as a kid, you just don't know. There was
Right.
days as a kid where I would be doing like even before I did drugs, because even when I was doing drugs, there was bad points, and I mean bad points isn't unhealthy because, like, all right, there's already nothing to eat, and then it's like you said, you're at your fucking friend's house. This house is still a shithole, and the one
Yeah.
thing he's offering you is to sip out of their fucking soda pop. You know what I mean? And that's like the one drink you had all day. Like, oh,
Yep.
it's so unhealthy. I don't know how I live, how I'm alive right now.
Well, I was the kid that would drink water. I was the weird fucking kid that would ask for water or
Fucking
go
A.
find water. Like I would go upstairs and they would like I had to act not high and stuff and like get a glass of water and like come back down. And like the thing is like I was the reason why my friends would start to drink water. They looked at me weird for like the longest period in time, and then one of them one day was like, "You know what? I'm fucking tired of it." And he just started drinking water. And then he, like, 2 weeks later, was telling me, he's like, "Dude, I feel so much fucking better, dude." And it's just like his brother started fucking doing it and shit. It was just
Yeah.
like, his
Well,
mom's like, "I don't know what you fucking said to those boys, but I've tried for years to get
just
them
drink
to
some
drink
fucking
water."
water.
They're fucking, dude, they would drink milk and they would drink soda,
Right.
but that was them, like, whatever.
I gotta say, so when I did drink water as a kid, like thinking back or whatever, but it's because we were broke. There was like nothing else to drink. Well, we would drink milk too, but the milk was my mom's. Like she had to have her chocolate milk and cigarettes, or else she'd cry.
It happens.
So to this day, it's honestly it's whatever. But the thing is I used to spend a lot of time at one of my friends' house out on the side of the country, and he had well water, and this well water had hit a sulfur patch. So like, I was
Oh, shit.
I would be at his house for weeks at a time because he's in the middle of nowhere from where I live,
Right.
So, but he was also he was the grandchild of a farmer. But the thing is those his grandpa and stuff and his grandmother adopted his mom, and like her adopted brothers and like her adopted dad basically fucking hated her, like kind of, and she had a lot of problems. Like they didn't hate her for no reason. Like she started smoking crack and shit when crack started getting popular, and stealing a lot of their money and stuff. And so like,
Oh,
and so that's the thing. That's why I chilled with this friend all the time, because he would steal money from his grandparents all the time too. So when I tell you his grandparents were farmers and he would steal money, like we were in me and this kid Taylor, I think we were in 5th grade, and he had given me some money that he'd stolen from his grandpa, and we went to school the next day, and we were like buying pizzas and shit for everyone because we had we had $2,000 on each of us as 5th graders. And we got caught. Obviously, the school's like, "Hey, everyone's saying you have all this money," and they called his grandparents and shit, and they're like, "Oh, fucking Jesus!" But like, he kept doing that throughout my like our childhood. Like, I chilled with this dude till I was like 21, and he would just steal money from his grandparents. And back then, when I tell you lived in the middle of nowhere, like, we couldn't order food either. Like, it'd be people coming out that would bring us food. So, like, he would have gone to the store. I'll show up. He's got like fucking 12 big bottles of like Mountain Dew Black or whatever, and we're just gonna sit there and play fucking, I don't even know, Kingdom Hearts on the PlayStation 2, and then watch Afro Samurai, because he has this, again, he's stealing money all the time, so he has like this big, nice system in his bedroom, huge TV, all the video games and shit, and then fucking a few ounces of weed, so like, what fuck it, I'm over here, like, I'm trying to chill over here.
Right.
But it's the only thing that I fucking say about that shit is the unhealthiness to it, because again, we're sitting there and we're eating like for the first day we'll have like McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, but he'll have gotten so much that we're eating that over until the next day, and then after that we're just eating like fucking ramen noodles or mac and cheese and shit, and the whole time we're just chugging it with soda, no water or milk or juice or anything, because he doesn't buy none of that shit. And again, you're not trying to drink sulfur patched well water,
Right.
Shit's fuck. Anyways, was the one you just said with Doom and stuff, was this, or do you have a favorite smoking story?
Probably the coolest event that happened to me when smoking when I was in college was with my best friend that I still have my best friend now. We were at a buddy's apartment that was a complex. If you're looking at the buildings to the left, but that doesn't matter. Bottom floor, and we were hanging out, and they built a gravity bong, and had a grand bowl on top. This is all tape and like JB Weld stupid not JB Weld, but like tar tape and stuff like that, and like those old ice mountain bottles that were the roll long ones, yeah. One of those on top of the gallon sized ice mountain ones that were like with the handle on top with the blue, so cut that 5-gallon bucket, bowl on top, cap, everything, and everybody's doing full bowls and taking full hits, and like just getting fucking ridiculously. My buddy ends up blacking out and falling down and knocking over like a laptop and a chair and shit.
Jesus, I mean, that's what happens.
Yeah. He said, I just blacked out. I saw stars and just that was over. And he was like, okay, well, we're done or whatever. And like, so we start to go like back to our apartment and get upstairs. And I say, did you just have like an out of body experience where we like watched ourselves walk up to this place and walk inside the building? He goes, dude, I had the exact same experience.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. He's like, we both watched each other from up above, fucking walk up to the apartment and everything like that, and just like I said, dude, did you just have that? And he's like, exactly what happened. And I was just like, that was fucking nuts.
It's so interesting. I've always been really interested in shared psychedelic or like supernatural experiences or whatever. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just love that shit.
That's my best story. Is like that experience was like nuts. It was too, like, whenever we looked at each, like when we walked inside the door, that like it was just like the weirdest fucking experience, and it's like never happened anywhere else or anything like that. But I've never been that, I think, blitzed out of my fucking mind.
You're forcing smoke into your lungs, like you said. Your friend passed out because you're literally just that whole bowl powering into your lungs.
No oxygen left for your brain,
Yeah. You guys were really inventive too, because back when we used to do gravity bongs, we would put like a socket or like burn like a metal bullhead into like the top of like a soda or a milk jug, and then we would just cut the bottom out of that and just use the sink or the bathtub.
Yeah.
So we were bitches.
Wanted to do it in front of the couch, and he wanted to do it in the party room, so that's why.
All right, yeah. We this one time, I'm not trying to just sit here and tell my stories, but it reminds me of that same friend I was telling you about. So like his mom, like I said, smoked mad crack and shit. She like She did on and off as throughout our childhood and shit too. She got better by the like again when I was like 21. By the time we were all done being kids, she was getting better. But his farm, it used to be they would grow shit and they had a dairy farm. But back at like the beginning of my existence, like the early 90s, late 80s, they had sold off their cattle and they just turned into just corn and wheat farmers. But they still had a barn that was full of it was a milk processing area, so they were taking it apart and selling pieces of it where they could because his uncle wanted to turn the back half of it into a hay storage, and then the front half he had this. It's honestly not a terrible idea. He just wasn't good at it. He started a hydroponic, all right, lobster farm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because they weren't ever like his family were hardcore Presbyterian fucking, you know, ancestors migrated here and settled on this very land and shit. Like they were hardcore religious.
Yeah.
That's why they hated his mom so much and shit, because she was just this crazy bitch who was smoking crack and fucking everyone. That was the lady who gave me my first fucking blowjob. It was awesome. Great blowjob. But when they were taking all the shit apart from his the cow area, the pasteurization barn or whatever, we stole this fucking 8-foot glass tube and made a bong out of it. And one of our bigger, like our huge friend, Day Day, Crow's brother, this big dude, big Viking dude. He's tough, he can do anything, and he's like, I'm gonna clear this whole 8-foot bong, and we're like, yeah, do it, Day Day. This motherfucker, I remember grabbing Day Day with one hand and the bong with the other, and like passing the bong, like, cause it's an 8-foot bong, and we're just outside in the backyard having like a bonfire, and again, it's, when I say his mom smoked crack and shit, like no one gave a fuck about what was going on. There's like terrible people chilling and shit, doing terrible things. But we're not part of that little crew or whatever. That's his brother's crew. We're just partying. But again, Day Day fucking just falls, and I grab the bong and like a ninja, I'm like trying to hold Day Day up, and I pass this like fucking pass an 8-foot bong, like slide it over to someone, like hold this please, so this dude doesn't die while he's falling. But fucking A, people passing out from fucking drugs is always my favorite at parties. Oh, so with that, do you have a most famous person you've ever smoked with, Boo? And it's okay if not, because I don't even think I kind of do, I guess, but not really.
Well, most famous person I've smoked with would be you through the internet.
Oh yeah, right through the internet.
That's about it.
I'm sorry to tell you, Boo, but I'm not famous.
Oh yeah. That's what you say.
I'm really big in Indonesia.
Yeah.
There's just one bot channel that's streaming it all over.
Hell yeah.
No.
I see a future.
So
no famous. At least I don't know.
Not that I know of.
Maybe.
There was that weird hobo once that kind of looked like fucking Jean-Luc Picard. Do you?
A lot of people at concerts, so you know.
Yeah. What was the? Oh, you've never like See, that's the thing. That's where I try to make my claim, is because I never really smoked with anyone famous, but I've been to some wild concerts where people were smoking like in my vicinity, you know, and we were all smoking. But as I was telling Crow, mine was with I think the most famous person that was happening with was Wavy Gravy, and Wavy Gravy is he's the hippie that fed everyone during Woodstock. He came out with like grilled cheese sandwiches and shit, because Woodstock, nothing had ever happened like Woodstock in America before, and people weren't ready for it. And there's the dark side of Woodstock or whatever. But Wavy Gravy was a dude, showed up in a bus making food for fucking everybody. He was with the Jolly Pranksters, I'm pretty sure, and the Jolly Pranksters they were just hippies that would go all over America in this trippy ass bus. And they mostly chilled with a shitload of famous people. Like, that's how they got famous, because they'd be like, you know, Hendrix fucking spends the night painting tapestries with the Jolly Pranksters or some shit like that. But yeah, so I guess that's the best I got.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Do you have a favorite food or drink while you're smoking?
Oh, to be honest, I'm a fucking dude. red Kool-Aid, strawberry, cherry.
Fucking
I
cultist.
yeah, exactly. Like, give me some of that with the ice in it, dude. Like a lot of ice, because I'm a weird dude. I like ice. I like crushing it up and shit. So I'm weird. But uh, the luxury of having the genes and the teeth that I have, I definitely abuse the living fuck out of my teeth. So
Fucking A.
I live it up for everyone else. But
Good.
anyways,
Good.
yeah. I try to spread my seeds, so more teeth, better teeth. Anyways.
We'll get those genetics out there.
Food wise is never like a certain food in general. Like, I just, whatever is available I will destroy. But definitely, like, if I could get it, that's why I don't have it, because I would just consume it like crazy, because it's a childhood thing.
What? You didn't say the food. Oh, just having like massive foods?
No. Food in general. Like,
Yeah.
okay, if I had to pick, like, the favorite food would be barbecue.
Okay.
Like, personally,
Yeah.
like, to eat while I'm high. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. That's
Lemonade with that. Oh, so
Crow
good.
was saying shit the other day too, because he was trying to explain how like sugary shit can take your high away. I mean, not that that's with lemonade or like actual barbecue sauce could be mad sugary, but he was saying he likes some buffalo chicken wings is his favorite while high.
I tried the mango the other day whenever I was chilling out, dude. That shit, like, yeah, like, I was like, damn, I'm like just like feel like real good, like, just chilling and stuff. I was watching TV on the YouTube and shit like that. I was just like,
in my opinion,
nice. Down at 6 a.m. I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, that mango, it's like it really levels out your whole high in a body mind kind of way. Like it just levels it out and you feel good. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm blown away, but like it's a noticeable difference that's enjoyable in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
I didn't realize, and like, because I would drink those, and like, that's like, dude, I love these fucking drinks.
I was gonna say, if you like sugary drinks, man, mango is the fucking way.
Yeah. I think mango and maybe peach are my like favorite fruit to consume, I guess.
Fucking peach, but yeah, I would completely agree. If I was like, if someone was like, bro, we're going to a barbecue today. Like, let's say it was a crazy barbecue, because like barbecues can be different wherever you go, but I've seen some weird shit. But if it was like, so we have a barbecue festival.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So I go there high whenever I could, and man, that shit is just delicious. Like, I could completely agree with you. Like, if I was like, boo, let's go to a fucking imagine a barbecue buffet when you're stoned, you know? Like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I want some of that dry rub chicken, then I want some of that fucking, give me that saucy pulled pork, and yeah, until I'd eat until I passed out. And like you're saying, big sugary drink.
I'm gonna get some tonight, I think. Get some barbecue, that'd be great. Snowy as fuck though. We'll see how the roads are. To add to your stories, if you don't mind, I'll tell another.
Yeah, go ahead. No, like, boo, no, we're on a script.
Terrifying experience while smoking. I was in Kodiak, Alaska, for a couple of years, and I met a guy. He was a boy. I think we were sophomores in high school, so that age of 16, 17, so we're young adults. But anyways, Ian was into robo tripping and psychedelics and like just basically trying to find enlightenment through drugs and shit, but basically came to school and got kicked out and had to go to rehab, but that sucks and his story is sad. But I used to hang out with him because no one hung out with him as well, and so his mom walked up to me one day and asked me to like basically hang out with her son because she thought he needed a friend that was, you know, like had a compass of some sort. So I, like, you know, you can only lead a horse to water. You know what I mean? You can't make it
Yeah.
drink. If somebody wants to get better, or something like
It's up to them.
I
You
let her.
can't shake someone and say, "We
Yes.
love you. Get better." That
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah, yeah.
work.
So I was like, I can hang out with him, but like I told her exactly that. I go, I don't want to like perform miracles and stuff. But anyways, we hung out at one point in time, and he wanted to go see his girlfriend on the other side of town. And in Kodiak, it's like the outside. It's like a coastal thing. Like so, there's like lots of trees and stuff, and there's houses in those trees, but it gets like more mountainy the more like the deeper you go and everything.
Yeah.
So like quick, but not like too quick in some of these areas. But anyways, there's like bays and stuff. But anyways, go on the other side, and it's like 15 minutes to like get from my house to his house, and basically you're out in the woods at this point near a bunch of bays and like grizzly territory and stuff. We get out there, and she's like, "All right, let's smoke," which I got ripped out of my mind. And I was like, "All right, this is gonna be great," And they're like, she's like, "All right, let's go on a adventure," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go walk through woods." I'm like, "Cool, cool." We start walking in these woods, and she's just like, "I don't really know where we're going," and I'm like, "Dude," it just like set into me. It was like, "Oh fuck, man." We're gonna get lost in this shit because she's like, "Oh no, I walk it like to go see Ian or whatever." And dude, we get it about 30 minutes in. We're walking through a fucking frozen like bog. So my feet are like knee deep in like mud, and like shoes are filled and everything like that. And it's like, I don't know, 34 outside. It's not good. And she's like, "I really don't know where we're at or whatever." And we find this like waterfall, clean off our feet and everything like that. And I'm high as all freaking get out. My paranoia is through the freaking roof
You
of
think you're
like
lost and shit.
Lost and the bear is the
Oh.
next, like the closest thing in my mind was a bear, because like there's like where were you at, you couldn't run, you know what I mean, like there was no moving fast. So I'm like, this is really not good. And like uh Ian decided to do whatever pills and stuff. So he was just like hallucinating and seeing shit and everything like that. So it was like a lot to deal with at my point in time, and like what I had done. And like I only smoked pot and stuff, and I wasn't the kid that like did anything hard or anything. So him loses his mind. She has one arm, so she's getting stuck in the mud and can't get out, and I have to help her get out of the mud and everything. And then I have to come get him because he's like just hanging out in these trees
Yeah,
or
tripping
whatever. I'm like, "All right."
balls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, "Oh man, dude," and I don't know where we're going, and she's lost too. So I'm not panicked, but like my senses are really heightened, and so like I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. Let's fuck, just like real fast, not really coordinated or anything like that. And eventually we walk and we walk and we figure out we're on the side of this hill and we see the town. So we head down towards the town and everything. And like we basically went like 2 miles like to the right, and we were supposed to go to the left instead or whatever. And it was just like we went uphill and got stuck, and like came back down, and like we walked to his house and everything. And then he's like, "Well, guess you should go home, huh?" or whatever. And I'm just like, "Oh, okay." Like, I guess we're done hanging out because they wanted to hang out or whatever. And I'm like, dude, high as fuck still. And like my parents are coming to pick me up and shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fucking get busted with this shit. Like, my family is military in the time and stuff. My mom was married to a Coast Guard guy, and it's not like, I don't want to call it white problems, but like like not poor, like
No, I
I
know
don't
exactly
know,
what you're saying. Like
not
sheltered.
problems, but like stupid, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's stupid shit. And like these people are like, they're gonna come down on me or whatever, and like I ain't gonna be able to do anything. I barely knew anybody and had any friends. There's a lot of emotion going through my brain at that point in time. And so I get in the car and I just like excited as fuck. I'm like, dude, I had the best day of my life. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it was great and everything. And I just like, they're like, "You feeling great?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's wonderful. I'm just like, it's feeling good. I'm ready to go home and take a nap." And they're like, "Oh, you don't look tired." I'm like, "Oh, I'm exhausted." Trust me, trust me. And they're like, "Oh, you look you look all right. And they started like my mom started looking at my eyes and shit. I'm like, what's up? You know, and like, oh, my like heart fucking fell and shit. And she's like, oh, nothing or whatever. So I don't know if she fucking knew and just didn't say anything. And like one of those things where it's like if you acknowledge it exists, then it exists. But if you don't, then it didn't exist. You know what I mean? And my son still stays the same stupid fucking baby boy that I envision him to be. If that makes sense. I think that's what happened. But I was terrified, like basically my life flashing before my eyes, and then it didn't. And then like after that, being high and being around people didn't fucking matter. But it was the most terrifying experience I ever had with it. Even with all the cops and everything that I've talked to and stuff, although blood's out of my mind and stuff, it's never been more terrifying than that moment
With
with
your ma staring you
on
down.
the side of the mountain.
Oh, all
To be
right.
honest, that was less scary. After I faced all that shit, like in my mind, almost died from a bear that was chasing behind us. In my head, you know, it wasn't there, but you know,
But fuck
it
it.
was.
Yeah.
It had its knives and forks out. And like, I want to eat these kids.
I kind of
You
feel
know.
like this is where we really connect in a sense because when you say you hang out with people who like no one would hang out with, like I always as a kid, like maybe it was the culture of what we grew up with at the time and stuff, because there's a lot of messages of like, you got to be friends with everyone and no one should be left behind or
Hmm.
alone. But my thing was in second grade they diagnosed me with a learning disability, and I'm just bad at reading and writing. Reading and writing didn't work for me until I was 13. Like I could do some Cat in the Hat shit. But
Yeah, yeah.
so they put me, because I'm in New York. So New York actually has crazy educational standards. Like if you graduate in New York with like a Regents diploma, and then also go to college and stuff and get whatever, like just that Regents graduation diploma will get you a lot of jobs in like every other state that exists. So like New York has really high educational standards. So in second grade they're like, he's special needs, disabled learning or whatever, disability. So I went into what they would call 15 to 1s classes, or fucking speds. I was one of the speds. So but the thing is my family was like really well known, like in dumb ways, like my mom and my uncle were the badasses or whatever that everyone knew and blah blah blah. Um and so when I went to school, like even though I was like I was weirdly popular for being a weirdo. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't shunned for it, and I was like everyone's friend. But like I made a lot of most of my friends or whatever in fucking these special ed classes. So like people with like severe like actual like disabilities in a sense, like mobile disabilities or whatever and shit like that.
Yeah.
And one of the things I would always fucking try to do is like stand up for those friends. Like anyone who would try to bully them or whatever. I'd be like, oh, is that how you fucking feel? Like I would just try to get in trouble. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but a lot of those people were still like, they're still like, it was real friendships. I never looked at people as like, people are people. I don't give a fuck about your difference. We're always people. But that like obviously kept going on in life. So like when I would see people seclude themselves, like there's a meme about it. They're like my one extroverted friend who adopted me or whatever, and like I used to be that friend. And like you could probably even ask Crow or whatever, but like I would go out of my way. Like I was so much more extroverted and social when I was younger. The only reason I'm introverted now is because of the way that I live and doing that to pay bills. But like a different version of me would be like, bro, like I'm gonna come get you right now. We're gonna go fucking here, here, and here, and then I'll bring you back. Like, don't worry, I got this. It's all figured out. We're gonna have a great time. like, but that goes for anybody. Like, and I loved like I had certain friends that were truly introverted, but they were my friends and they did enjoy me. But there was times like I wasn't just trying to make them uncomfortable or whatever and force them to go out, but there was times when shit would pop up where I'm like, I know you will love this, like just come with me and enjoy it, give me one night, and you end up having really enjoyable, fun, memorable times like that, and those friends like later in life and shit too, like some of those people will reach out and be like, bro, like, thank you for that, I was going through some bullshit. And especially like you're saying, when you're just a kid, like I guess it's like it's weird to be a kid and to try to help that as a fellow kid, but what else are you gonna do? What is a kid gonna try to relate to an adult? And then what happens in those situations? Adults trying to relate to children are usually gonna fucking hurt them in some terrible way. But digress. I'm just saying that's I feel like we have a kinship in that of like, listen, like I know you think like maybe like no one, maybe you're unworthy of chilling with people or something, or maybe like a lot of people might just shit on your lifestyle, but I know you're not like this portrayal. Some people put out a portrayal, you know, I'm a tough fucking weirdo and just don't fuck with me, and that's my only defense mechanism, you know. I'm crazy and I'll kill you. Like, all right, let's just settle down, dude. Let's smoke a few bowls. But
See how it goes.
so so with that, why did you start smoking, Boo? And has there been points in your life, like, obviously I'd say we smoke to this day because it helps, but has there ever been any points that it has hindered your life? Any points where you had to take breaks or anything?
Oh yeah, trying to get jobs and stuff at certain points is getting clean, so you stop smoking for a length of time, and you know you do your cleaners and stuff like that, and just those points really. I've thought about quitting in general, and moving to like edibles, just for the simple fact of ingesting carcinogens.
Yeah.
Um, personally, but you know, I don't know.
I know completely.
I like
I
it.
just love smoking. It's as unhealthy as it is. It's a ritual and activity that I actually thoroughly enjoy. Like,
It's. I used to smoke cigarettes, but I dropped those one day and just said I'm done. Like I'm tired of the taste, the smell. But weed tastes good and doesn't smell bad, and I don't know. It
can smell
makes me
bad.
feel better than the cigarettes.
Yeah,
Like
that's
buzz, like a buzz. I don't know what the buzz thing is like. Yeah, but it's not like I don't know. I, not for like like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it other than it's not long enough, and it's like the detriment that comes with it is like, yeah, nah, I'm good. I'll stick with this.
No, I understand, and
Trade one evil.
it's a weird balance finding that, right? Because that's the reason I love like cannabis and stuff. Like when you say quit for a job, my problem when I was young is I just refused to ever quit smoking. I'm like, fuck you. Like, cannabis is part of who I am. Like, I'll just work wherever they'll fucking take me. Like,
Yeah,
but
most of the time.
but the thing about cannabis too though is like it's like why I don't do acid anymore. On cannabis, for the longest I'm going to be uncomfortably high is maybe 20 to 30 minutes if I reach that state, even on edibles or whatever.
Right.
But like that's why I don't do acid anymore though, because it's like you're saying, like I don't like nicotine. Like I never felt crazy nicotine highs, but if I felt like a little pepped, it's like you're saying, like I'd feel it for like 5 to 10 minutes, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, but it's like and it's finding the balance that you like, because I don't like acid anymore because I'm not trying to be high for 6 to 12 hours. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Don't want to sleep.
all I want to do is sleep. Why do I keep seeing fucking vagina penis monsters and shit? But
When I did it, it was more of like just like my brain went like no, it was like holding me awake. It's like you're not going to sleep. Like it wasn't like seeing things or anything. It was just like my body like bracing itself for like the fact that it's being
damn.
destroyed from the inside out.
Yeah. Well, I've had a lot of great trips and stuff. It's just later in life, like around it's been 2 years now or whatever. 2 or 3 years ago, it's just tripping is not for me currently anymore. Maybe in the future. Like it's again, it's not. It was. I did this a lot, but it turns the thing is, I'm a fucking weirdo. But tripping alone in your house in the middle of the hood with the inability to go and do anything is very terrible when you're tripping. Like, and I don't say that stupidly. Like, I live in the fucking hood. If I was like tripping balls and I'm like, I'm gonna go for like an hour walk. Like, if I did that right now and I left my block, I'd probably get robbed or shot. And like, that's that's all I'm trying not to happen when I'm tripping. But
Right.
so why did you said down in the friend's basement? Would you say why instead of why you started smoking that day? Why did you continue smoking it? Did it like was it just the enjoyment at the time, or and do you still find that it adds quality to life to this day? Because that's what I always claim. As much as that might sound like an addict's reasoning or whatever, cannabis for me gives me a quality of life and a clarity in life that I'm okay within the right now. I'm okay, and I feel okay being alive. I'm not so stressed out about what might have happened or things I may have done wrong in the past that I can correct. And I'm just saying this as an example. Why do you continue to smoke cannabis?
I would say, honestly, honestly, I have no fucking clue other than probably it makes everything, like I said, life not necessarily like if it was gone, I would go on with my life and I would have to replace it with something else, and I think it would be like primitive skill. You know what I'm saying? At this point in
Yeah,
time, shit's bad or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I would
yeah,
figure out how to like live, and that would be what I would fill my void with, because that's you can go out and do these things, but the means that it takes to get to this point is very interesting and unique, because you need space and you need money to still, like, you can go to land, but you can't just like, you just gotta,
yeah. What are you gonna do? Hope that you use it, just get away with it, you know?
yeah. Food has, water, like there's the weird, you know, if you're going to the doctor, it actually increases your life. Like there's like, there's more, like the reason why man only lived to like fucking 30 years old outside is because the elements will beat the shit out of you.
Right?
It's not just like you fuck up. It's like, man, you get cut and your body has to deal with that infection or whatever, and you have to eat the right things to deal with that infection, and you have to keep yourself strong. But like, you know, if you're alone, you need, it's like a not psychedelic, a mental thing. So it's like humans like being by themselves, secluded. Uh, not it basically never ends too good. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's always got to be like a group or another person. Like I said, I have to exist with someone else, or else my life means like nothing apparently to me. Like, I don't have any motivation other than providing for someone else or helping someone else achieve another goal, because like I don't know, like we're on this world, and like why the fuck edit it, why the
yeah.
fuck kill it, like I don't know, I have simple thoughts and I don't know the answers to it, and then that's where I like exist in this.
I exist in my simple way. No, it's fine though.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that, and I can completely agree because that's how I lived a lot of my life, was looking for a partner, having that partner, and then catering to them regardless of their flaws and shit, which ended up terrible. But
Right.
we all it's like
I
you're
got lucky.
saying, there's no rules or anything,
I tried 3 or 4 times before this, dude. Like, so like I dedicate, like when I end up with a person, I'm like, I'm with you,
right?
I want to be with you, and there's a reason why I want to be with you. If you just discontinue that, then like,
And a lot of people who want to, I'm just saying, will compare a lot of these, like when you say with cannabis, how it can make things better and enhance it. There's a lot of people who would want to compare this to addiction, but those same people don't have never really seen true addiction in their lives. And I mean addiction in the sense of like, let's say the alcoholic who literally is drinking like a fucking fish, and then if you try to tell them to just go sober and cold turkey, they can literally die from it. Same with benzos. Those are the only two. But like this person popping benzos and like doing like heroin and shit, like someone who literally gets sick from not having that substance for long enough.
right.
It's fucking sad, and it can grip their lives or whatever. But like I've said it before, and I'll always try to champion responsible adult drug use. Like I can say it in different ways. Like I could be like, hey, like what if you went to a concert, and at that concert you took let's say you mixed it. Let's say you mixed an Adderall with an Oxycontin, right? That's
Right.
not too crazy to say. There's people out there that have done that, you know? I'm sure a lot of people. But I could reword that, and I could say, hey, because these are what these are, but you could go do heroin and meth But the thing is, that's exactly it, because a fucking Adderall is an amphetamine, and Oxycontin is a fucking synthesized opiate. It's not synthesized, but it's a refined opiate. Just with a higher medical standard in a sense, or whatever. I don't fucking know what to tell you. Yeah, purity. And that's cool. That really is cool. But like, I'm just saying, like, when we say it with those two different terms, it can cause two different extreme reactions. But like, the thing about drug use is, yeah, some of us have problems, but like, this isn't just that person's problem. This is a problem within society. We have failed that person. They're clinging to this because something is wrong in the greater picture of things. But people like myself, or people who would want to do this, it's when I try to talk about responsible drug use, the example I see next to it is rock or mountain climbing. Like, you shouldn't rock or mountain climb. It's dangerous and you can fucking die. But guess what? With a little bit of fucking knowledge and the right tools, it's a fucking leisure sport that anyone can do.
Right.
And like, when I say that, like, obviously there's a difference between drugs and fucking recreational sports, but people can still addict to those recreational sports. You can work out in an unhealthy way. You can be too obsessed about body image. But again, this takes, like, we have to come together as a society to find these agreements. But again, like I say, come together as a society because it takes your friends and your neighbors to keep you in check. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, boo, bro, we're gonna go to this concert, or we're gonna go to this fucking barbecue cookout, and guess what? I'm gonna pop this Oxycontin. And it's like, all right, Elm, you do you, right? But it's like, let's say I did that, and let's say I did that fucking once a month, a few times a year or something, right? And then let's say, oh, boom, I come up to you slurring and shit, and I got a bottle of Oxys in my pocket. There's a fucking problem that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, and it's up to each other and ourselves to recognize, like, okay, like, what am I doing for leisure, and what am I doing that's gonna fucking end up killing myself through escapism or whatever. But anyway. Before I go on to the next one, I will say as well is that a lot of people who choose to continuously consume cannabis, again, is when I led to this. When they talk about the quality of life, people want to kind of put that, like, well, you're just addicted because you're kind of like saying you can't. And that's exactly like you said. Like, if it was taken away, I could find something else to fill that, and you're not gonna be like sick physically. You know, you're not gonna. Right. You might be a little cranky for like a week, get a couple headaches. Because that's chemical change.
Work it out and eat some food. It always gets me, and like, not always gets me, but there was a time period where I smoked like heavily, like more than maybe 5 grams a day and stuff. And like, I don't know, like at that point in time for me it was heavy.
Yeah.
So I went from doing that to not at all. And the very next day I remember like not eating at all. And then like going to eat dinner, and I felt miserable before I ate any of the food. But as soon as I fucking ate the food, I felt almost instantaneously better. Obviously, if you don't eat anything, and it's like, but my mind went to the oh, this is what it feels like for, like, you know, I'm withdrawing or whatever with this shit. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm just fucking starving. I'm like literally dumb enough to fucking not eat all day or whatever, you know. And it's like, and your body is used to having those things, so it is like going to feel a different way. But it's like, I don't know. I always felt clean when I got done smoking, because I used to do roofing and shit. And I didn't want to be fucked up.
Yeah.
And like doing that up there, and like, but a lot of those guys did. They were always messed up and shit, and I was just like, I don't know, my mind worked really differently. I worked in concrete too.
Yeah,
those guys are always high as fuck. I'm like, no, I'll fucking kill myself. I'll fall on rebar or
no, for real,
like,
I'd rather get my work done, make my money, and then if I'm getting fucked up, do it then. But that's you seeing that that side of the business, because there's a lot of people that go into it, but we're at an all-time low or whatever too. But if you go into construction, there's a few kind of people. There's just the straight up junkie. It doesn't matter what age they are.
Yeah.
There's the kids, the grunts, where they just make you do all the fucking shitty labor because you haven't ruined your body yet. But then there's the old timers. There's the old timers, the pros. And I guess you could say in the old timers and the pros, there's a literally 50-50 split. There's either like straight edge fucking background military or military family guy that is just always sober. They drink on the holidays, but they have a beautiful life and all they do is work construction and that's it. But then there's the other half that are grown fucking construction warriors who have weathered their body through a life of construction fucking built on their drug of choice, usually cocaine and coffee.
Right.
And then fucking they'll smoke weed at the end of the day or drink beer until they gotta wake up and do it all the next day. But I've never seen such functioning addicts and continued drug use as I've seen in hardcore construction, brick masons, fucking
building everything.
yeah, literally. People do not understand how much of our infrastructure in the past, I don't know, since the fucking 80s, honestly. I'd say before, but fucking since the 80s, a lot of buildings have been built by literal cocaine addicts.
Bricklayers Union at one point in time had a beer break at 3:30. They would all bring out beer and they'd all get fucking 2 beers or 3 beers or something
Union
like that.
mandated fucking beer break.
Yeah, those didn't go very well, you know. But at that point, like, we like to hide from our past for like, dude, the fucking roaring 30s were in everybody and prohibition and all that shit and like all these crazy things. Like people love to drink and be fucked up like across the board. Like like if they have a chance to do it or experience it and stuff, and it's in a good positive setting, most of the time people are going to go back to it. There are the occasional person, like I said, my friend the other day, that he was allergic and he loved to smoke pot and get high, but he would hurl like almost instantaneously after smoking. He would have to go throw up.
I love what you said though about how we like to hide from our past.
Right.
Because I never thought about it like that. Because I personally like to learn from my past. And I wish we all did, because when you said that, because I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, there is just like, when they say the past repeats, it's just because of ignorance in a sense, because people were just like, too long, didn't read, I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
But aside from all this philosophical shit, no, you're fine, it's So with my last question, Boo, the last and final question of this fine interview. If you could smoke or chill with anyone, like dead or alive, like anybody ever, who would you try to take the opportunity to smoke with? And it doesn't have to be, me. Crow and Necro has already flattered me. But, I mean like superstardom, or like maybe you would feel really insightful if you smoked with them.
Reaching out for like, my unattainable thought would be like whoever the fuck made life. I'd like to sit down and smoke with him and be like, ask him a few fucking questions.
Whoever made life, just the true creator.
Yeah, true creator. Be like, yo, what the fuck? But anyways,
I love that answer. I mean, I would too. I would have never gave that answer myself, and the only reason I wouldn't have is because I just can't comprehend. Like, it would have to be the creator within a human form that would understand what I'm trying, that exact question, and then understand to communicate with me in a way that I could get. Because imagine being omniscient or whatever, and infinite. I fucking can't think of the right words, but
my little brain.
Yeah, or just being the reaction of chemicals in a sense. Like, I don't know how to fucking communicate with you. That's what I try to say about people who talk about quantum physics and stuff like that. I'm like, it's honestly like, if we look at it like and just take it for what it is, it does make sense, but there's just things that we don't have the tools to measure with it. Anyways, were you thinking of someone else besides the creator, or
that's like, if you're asking if I want to talk, smoke, question, the one question or whatever obvious reason, that's my like legit. Put a fucking gun to my head, I'm gonna give you that answer. But anyways, person wise though, that actually exists and is physical, the more I like think about like humans and stuff like that, it's like they're all just making this shit up. So uh, there's no one person. Like if anybody wants to smoke and stuff like that, I'm pretty much down.
I'm
Like
down. I'll smoke with anybody.
I guess except for the people that leave me like a bunch of kisses on the end of that joint. I'm not too keen to.
I'm
You can have that.
as someone who lives like myself, I am a big I'm a huge personals guy. If I show up, I'll have a personal rolled for you.
Hell yeah.
We're getting fucking stoned and I'm not hitting your joint. No offense. Ever since COVID, I don't do that shit.
Right.
No, I don't give a fuck. I'll pass shit still. I live in the hood. I'll tell you, fucking, Crow, because I asked Crow, and for my first answer with Crow, was I told him Prince Nobunaga. And, I only say Prince Nobunaga because I'm a weird, like, closet weeaboo. I don't honestly know a shitload of weird shit or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sitting here just watching anime, but like even while we're talking right now, I have a walkthrough Japan background. But I just love Japan and their architect and stuff. And
Yeah.
I love the time of the Ronin, if you will. And with Nobunaga, Nobunaga's essentially the Hitler of Japan. But I don't say that in like the craziest crazy way, but I say that as in he united all of Japan. Like there was a bunch of different clans or whatever, and he united them all and then started basically invading South Korea because he's like, hey, we're all really good at war. Like we should just take over the rest of the world. And like, you know, what kind there's a bunch of, you know, we could talk about Genghis Khan, whatever. There's a bunch of people who fucking you know, tried to conquer the ancient world. So the reason I wanted to talk to him is because it was essentially like it was like the time of the Ronin, you know? All these houses were falling and there was becoming an imperial army and shit like that. And it's what a unique time for humanity, and especially an isolated and a place like Japan. Just so fucking cool.
Right.
Such its own culture and stuff. But anyways, Crow eventually led to he wanted to talk to Jim Morrison was his first one, and then we both decided on Bob Marley because I love Bob Marley, and we were saying that would be like maybe a really insightful conversation and smoke. But he was saying Jim Morrison. He was reading more and more about Jim Morrison, and he said it had nothing to do with the Doors because I told him the Doors suck. And Jim Morrison is just a fucking privileged white boy. But I could say that, but Jim Morrison was a true poet that was he did exactly what me and Crow did at that point in our lives too. And like you were saying with your buddy, we tried to find ourselves with psychedelics, but we were really fucking digging deep. Like we were like, we're gonna do acid every fucking day. Like we were doing weird shit. And then anyways, Necro had picked Michael Frenati, I think it was. And this is he's an artist. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. I can't think of what he's known for best. But he sent me a song the other day for Everyone Deserves Music. And he was just saying how that artist like touched him or whatever. And but I figured I'd share other people's, you know, choices and stuff, just because I think it's interesting to who people would really try to smoke with if they had an opportunity, dead or alive. Like, Salvador Dali, bro. Like, all right, fuck. Edison.
George Carlin would probably be
George Carlin. George Carlin is like the perfect angry grandfather person to go smoke with too. And let me tell you another thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just wanted to listen to someone tell me some shit sometimes, you know.
Yeah, that's fuck. I can respect the thing is about George Carlin is I only started to be like hate on him a little bit because I was turning more snobby. Because George Carlin is he talks about the very obvious problems, but that's like
right.
it's that's great at the same time because still like it just sucks that we have these very obvious problems. But the only other thing I was getting bitchy with George Carlin about was his comedy delivery, because his cliche is kind of just like take again like obvious bad fact to number one and be like, no sir, I don't like it, no way, blah blah blah, this and that, it's wrong, this and that, and then that's you know, that's him. He has a block of telling you something he's angry about really fast, and then he goes into the next thing. But I can't hate on him at the same time too, because I would love to be able to do the things I enjoy or bitch about the things I enjoy and then be massively successful from it.
Lewis Black.
Lewis Black. I honestly think if I really could, I would love to smoke with Edison or Tesla. I'm not even much of an engineer, but I would have loved to get high with them in like a workshop and just have them talk about what they were working on.
Yeah,
It's a
I
train. I
would
could
feel
see
like I
someone
would.
younger not getting Carlin. I used to love George Carlin when I was younger. I just got to a snobby state where I was like, Carlin is just a fucking cranky old man talking about obvious shit. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's that would be the one person I would probably smoke with that I would be interested in having a one-on-one with. But
Yeah, I'm not gonna pass that up. If I had the opportunity to have smoked with George Carlin, I would have as well.
right, I think I would smoke with anybody. Mm, I wouldn't smoke with Mel Gibson. I feel like he would be
Really
not
racist.
cool. Not yeah, not cool.
I gotta say, man, it's one thing I really hate about the city and stuff is like a lot of people are still fucking will say some dumb racist shit, and I'm like, bro, like why are you even saying this to my face right now? Like, no, I don't mean that on like someone being racist towards me. Like other people that'll come up and be saying some crazy shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, you live across the street from me. Like, that's really how you feel?
What do you want me to do with this information you're providing me? Like, all right, let's get our pitchforks. You're right, dude. You're right.
Right? Like, why are you even telling me shit like this? Like, just how about you save that opinion for yourself?
Yeah, the level. It's the this like I don't know, like flagging. Like, yeah, you like this? This
Yeah.
is cool. You like it?
Uh,
Right. Yeah, we're cool. Yeah, we're cool. Yeah.
uh,
I know some other people that like to do this too.
fucking A. Sad. But anyways, that was the Stoner Circle podcast with fucking Boo. Fucking went through all the questions. I hope it wasn't terrible. Thank you for letting me interview you. Zatran, you're actually next on my list. You're the only one I got next on my list.
Hell yeah.
So, with this one, I'm just gonna fucking end it, and I gotta take the fucking dog out. So I don't know if I'm actually going to, You'll do it, Zatran? I don't know if I'm gonna get back on, but if you want, Zatran, if you really want, I'll end this stream, I'll take the dog out and shit. And, if you're free right now, I'll go just fucking back to back and do a Zatran fucking Stoner Circle stream. So, fucking...
Think so.
Not
Have a good
today,
one.
though. Alright, no, you too, Boo. So I don't know if I'm coming back, but if I do, you'll fucking know.
Yeah, have a good one.
Alright, take it easy, man. Emotionally prepare, yeah, for all these. I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions. I have 7 of them. But yeah, I'm gonna take the dog out. I don't know. I might come back, I might not. I'm gonna let this, we're gonna chill for 2 more minutes because it's almost 4:20, so. Why not smoke into 4:20? But I hope Boo had fun too. I try to I'm like trying to do this because they say like do what you love or whatever and you know have fun with shit. And like I wouldn't mind having a fun little fucking podcast, but I also figured fucking something like this, the Stoner Circle, where you talk about just fucking cannabis and getting high. What else do I know better than smoking some fucking weed? Yeah, let me know when you're ready, Zatran, and I'll fucking we'll do however much time. It's been mostly anywhere from an hour to a fucking to close to 2. The last 2 ones have been long. I think Crow's was like an hour 16. And I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I got you on my list to train. I gotta get Itchy honestly, but Itchy's been working a lot. And then I just gotta think of some other people that I would describe as actual stoners that would want to have any interest in getting interviewed. I'm looking over to the side now and I'm seeing a few people. That would be fun. over here. I'm directly in 420. Got the nice huge hit with the fucking body tingles. Then he just keeps smoking through it because it's 420. Alright, it's 421. Letting the dog out. Don't know if I'll be back or not. We'll just see what happens. It's 4 o'clock. Itchy's supposed to be back in an hour, so I might just come back and play shit with him.